Hello viewers, today I'll present to you John Keats's one of the finest poems, The Poetry of Earth. The original name of this poem was On the Grasshopper and the Cricket. Now enjoy the presentation. John Keats was an English romantic poet. He was one of the main figures of the second generation of romantic poets, along with Lord Byron and Percy Bysshe Shelley. Despite his works having been in publication for only 4 years before his death from tuberculosis at the age of 25. John Keats was born on 31st October 1795 in Moorgate, near city of London in United Kingdom. He died at the age of 25 on 23rd February 1821 in his one of the favorite cities, Rome, in Italy. Some famous poems of John Keats are Ode to a Nightingale, Ode on a Grecian Urn, To Autumn, La Belle Dame sans Mercy, Bright Star, Would I Were Steadfast as Thou Wert, and Endymion. What is a sonnet? A sonnet is a lyric poem consisting of 14 lines written in iambic pentameter with a definite rhyme scheme, with a definite thought structure. Iambic. What? Iambic pentameter is the rhythm and meter in which poets and playwrights wrote in Elizabethan England. It is the meter that Keats uses here. What is iamb? A famous quote from William Shakespeare's Hamlet, to be or not to be. Look at the foot 1, to be, foot 2, not or not, foot 3, to be. 2 is unstressed and B is stressed. In second foot, or is unstressed, not is stressed. In third foot, 2 is unstressed and B is stressed. So, when a stressed syllable comes after an unstressed syllable, we call that foot or meter an iamb. So, an unstressed syllable is followed by a stressed syllable in iamb. Pentameter. An iamb is the dum, it is the heartbeat. Penta is from the Greek for 5. Meter is really the pattern. So there are 5 iambs per line. Quite simply, it sounds like this: di dum, di dum, di dum, di dum, di dum. It consists of a line of 5 iambic feet, 10 syllables, 5 unstressed and 5 stressed. It is the rhythm of human heartbeat. Iambic pentameter. An example from Sonnet number 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day. And another example from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon. So, these are example of iambic pentameter. Okay. Petrarchan or Italian sonnet. In its form, Keats' poem is a Petrarchan or Italian sonnet with the rhyme scheme AB, BA, AB, BA, CDE, CDE. Iambic pentameter lines run through the entire poem, while the octave concentrates on the grasshopper's voice in summer. The sestet deals with the cricket song in winter. The use of this form can be associated with Keats' belief regarding love and nature and how they are both related to each other. According to the poet, nature offers love and joy, and the human response should correspond that fondness. An introduction to the poem. The Poetry of Earth by John Keats is a fine piece of sonnet written in December 1816. The poem was inspired by the beauty of nature, the most common theme among the Romantic poets. To be precise, the poet here celebrates the poetry of earth. The music of nature is omnipresent. The two opening lines of the octave and the sestet. The poetry of earth is never dead, and the poetry of earth is ceasing never, say it all. Keats has introduced two little creatures, the grasshopper and the cricket, as the original title of the poem suggests, to represent the vitality and joyous mood of nature, even in the scorching hot of summer and in bleak and bitter cold of winter. The sonnet is all about how the grasshopper and the cricket carry on with the endless song of the earth. Let's read the poem. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown mead. That is the grasshopper's. He takes the lead in summer luxury. He has never done with his delights. For when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, from the stove there thrills the cricket's song, in warmth increasing ever, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. Look at the sonnet. It has been divided into two parts. First 8 line is octave, and the last 6 lines is called sestet. The first 4 lines of the octave deals with the summer, and the second quatrain 4 lines of the octave deals with the grasshopper. Likewise, The first three lines of the sestet deals with the winter, and the last three lines of the sestet deals with the cricket's song. Now I am going to present to you each slide which will represent one line of the sonnet, and the text will appear on the slide. A background image will scaffold understanding of the text. So be careful and watch minutely the every detail of the background image and don't miss it. Okay, let's start our next slide. The first line of the poetry of earth. The poetry of earth is never dead. Look here, the birds are singing cheerfully. They are carrying the music of nature, and it is endless. Now enjoy the bird's song. Hope you enjoyed the music of nature. Now move on to the next slide. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run. Now enjoy the voice. Hope you enjoyed the music of the grasshopper. Now move on to the next slide. From hedge to hedge about the new mown mead. That is the grasshoppers. He takes the lead. In summer luxury he has never done. With his delights, for when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is sieging never. On a lone winter evening when the frost has wrought a silence, from the stove there thrills the cricket's song, in warmth increasing ever. Now enjoy the cricket song. Hope you enjoyed the cricket song. And seems to one in drowsiness half lost. The grasshoppers among some grassy hills. Now the paraphrase of the poem. The poetry of earth is never dead. The song of the earth is endless. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun, when all the singing birds feel tired in hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run and return to shady branches of the trees. A voice will start from hedge to hedge about the new mown mead, from bushy fences of freshly cut grassland. That is the grasshoppers. He takes the lead. The voice is of the grasshopper, and he starts singing. In summer luxury he has never done. In the grandeur of summer he never runs out with his delights, for when tired out with fun, for when he feels tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. He takes rest under some cozy weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. The song of earth is ceaseless. On a lone winter evening, when the frost, in lonely winter evening, when frost has wrought a silence from the stove their thrills, has forced everyone to be silent. From the warm stove there comes out a loud voice. The cricket's song, in warmth increasing ever. The cricket's song, which increases with the warmth, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, and it reminds someone who is half asleep and half awake. The grasshoppers among some grassy hills, of the song of the grasshopper singing from some grassy hedges. Now, the structure of this poem. Look at the structure. The deep green colored lines are forming the octave's first quatrain, and the light green lines are forming the last quatrain of the octave. The first quatrain reminds us about the summer. The second quatrain reminds us about the grasshopper. The last 6 lines form the sestet. It has also been divided into 2 parts. The first 3 lines reminds us of the season winter, and the last 3 lines reminds us of the cricket's song. Now look at the rhyme scheme of the poem. A, B, B, A, B, B, A, C, D, E, C, D, E. I repeat, A, B, B, A, B, B, A, C, D, E, C, D, E. The typical rhyme scheme of a Petrarchan sonnet. Now, I will discuss about the literary devices used in this poem. There are 6 literary devices used in this poem, and they are personification, alliteration, oxymoron, metaphor, inversion, and enjambment. The next slides will discuss about the literary devices. Enjambment. It can be defined as a thought or sense, phrase or clause in a line of poetry that does not come to an end at the line break, but moves over to the next line. For example, the third line, and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run. There is no punctuation mark or line break at the end of third line. Okay? It moves over to the next line. The fifth line of the sonnet, that is the grasshoppers, he takes the lead. This line also moves over to the next line, in summer luxury he has never done, which also runs or moves over to the next line with his delights for when tired out with fun, which also runs or moves over to the next line, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. Now, the 10th line, on a lone winter evening when the frost, there is no punctuation mark at the line break. This line also moves over to the next line, has wrought a silence from the stove their thrills. The line also moves over to the next line, the cricket's song in warmth increasing ever. So, these are the examples of enjambment. Okay, now move on to the next literary device. Inversion. Inversion, also known as anastrophe, it is a literary technique in which the normal order of words is reversed in order to achieve a particular effect of emphasis. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. Ceasing has been put before never. The normal order of the words ceasing and never is reversed. And in the 13th line, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost. In drowsiness half lost. Seems to one half lost in drowsiness. This is an example of inversion. The words in drowsiness have been placed before half lost. So these are the examples of inversion. Now, metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech that makes an implicit, implied, or hidden comparison between two things that are unrelated but which share some common characteristics. The poetry of earth is compared to the songs of the grasshopper. The poetry of earth is compared to the songs of grasshopper. Likewise, the cricket song is compared to the song of the grasshopper. These are the two cases of metaphor used in this poem. Now move on to the next literary device. Oxymoron. Oxymoron is a figure of speech in which two opposite ideas are joined to create an effect. The common oxymoron phrase is a combination of an adjective preceded by a noun with contrasting meanings, such as cruel kindness or living dead. Look at the line. He rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. Pleasant weed. We generally want to get rid of weeds, but in poet's eye, it is pleasant. So, it is an example of oxymoron. Alliteration. Alliteration is a literary device that uses the same consonantal sounds at the beginning of words in a sentence or title. Look at the line, from hedge to hedge, about the new mown mead. For hedge to hedge, sound haw, and for mown mead, sound maw repeats. Okay, and look at the line, has wrought a silence from the stove their thrills. Sound shaw is repeated here. So these are the examples of alliteration. Now, personification. Personification is a literary device where you give human-like qualities to non-human elements. The poetry of earth is never dead. The poetry and the dead, these two words, poetry has been personified, has been attributed the human quality of dying. And the next, he takes the lead. He, the grasshopper, has been attributed human qualities. Again, he has never done with his delight. Here also the grasshopper has been attributed human qualities. And in the line, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. Here also the grasshopper has been attributed human qualities. The next line, the frost has wrought a silence. Here the frost has been attributed human qualities. Frost has made all of us silent. All the earth silent. The frost has made the earth silent. So these are the examples of personifications used here in this poem. Now, word nest. Dead, sieging, faint, feeling weak and dizzy and close to losing consciousness. Cooling trees, shady branches of trees. Hedge, bushy fences or rows. New mown meat, freshly cut grassland, meadows. In summer luxury, when the sun heats up during the summer, the grasshopper appears and takes the lead of keeping the nature alive and keeps singing and hopping from one hedge to the other. Pleasant weed, an unnecessary growth of plant which is charming. Wrought a silence, winter has forced the humans as well as animals to remain silent. In warmth increasing ever, heat keeps increasing, which makes it feel more comfortable. Drowsiness, the condition of half asleep and half awake. He has never done with his delights. His joys never come to an end. Lead main role, at ease, in comfort. A voice will run, a sound will move about. Here the poet suggests that not only the voice but also the movement of the creature also makes music. New mown meat, freshly cut grassland, meadows, luxury, luxurious pleasure or plenitude, fun, mirth, frolic, sieging, ending, stopping, wrought, made, created, forced, stove, a metal fireplace or any kind of hearth, thrills, makes a loud noise, warmth, heat, grassy hills, hedges covered with grass. Hope all of you enjoyed the presentation, and for now, thank you for watching this presentation. Goodbye.